Gardening success often begins with understanding your plant hardiness zone. Plant hardiness zones are geographical areas that are organized based on the average annual minimum winter temperature. Knowing your plant zone helps you select plants most likely to thrive in your climate. Keep in mind that we are talking averages, not exact temperatures. Plant zones matter a great deal in both perennial and annual plant choices. Perennials return year after year, but their ability to survive winter temperatures depends heavily on matching them correctly with your zone. That ensures they survive cold winters and thrive without expensive protection. Annuals complete their life cycle in one growing season and are generally more flexible in terms of plant zones. However, knowing your plant zone, along with your frost dates, helps determine the optimum time to plant them. In colder zones like 5 and 6, we typically start annuals indoors or use season extenders like cold frames or row covers to lengthen their growing season. In this video, we are going to talk about the importance of knowing how to use your planting zone to have a productive garden. I have a lot of experience gardening in zones 5 and 6 in the US, but I'm also going to show you the maps for these zones in Canada and Europe for my followers there. Hi, I'm Amy. Welcome, welcome. I'm a retired science teacher, organic farmer, wildlife rehabilitator. Fox Run is a nonprofit, and I do educational programs online and in my community. And sometimes I write books. This map divides the U.S. into zones representing temperature ranges of 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Zones 5 and 6 cover a large part of the U.S., nearly coast to coast. Looking at the map, we are the green sections, which is pretty extensive across the country. Zones are divided in half and written as A and B as well, which represents a 5-degree increment. So you could be a 5A or a 6B. Zone 5 experiences average minimum winter temperatures ranging from negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Zone 6 experiences slightly milder winters with average minimum temperatures between negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit and 0 Fahrenheit. While the USDA system is based on minimum temperatures, the most recent Canadian system includes minimum temperatures as well as rainfall, frost free days, and other variables. When comparing standards and assigned zones, the difference is perhaps a half zone or so apart, so we are fairly close. On this map, the yellow is zone 6 and the green is zone 5. The colors are not as distinct on this map. I had a hard time finding a good one. Canada has a few areas in zone 5 and 6, mostly on their coasts and around the Great Lakes. You can see here zones 5 and 6 in Europe, also in green. Europe uses a similar concept, although it's known as the European Hardiness Zone Map or the Royal Horticultural Society map in the UK. It covers parts of Germany, Switzerland, Poland, and Scandinavia, as well as much of Eastern Europe. So, why is all this even important? Being aware of your plant zone has several benefits. Plant selection is the most obvious one. Knowing your zone helps you choose plants adapted to survive in your climate's conditions. You can find out your zone on the USDA website, then look for that number when you purchase perennials. Some catalogs, like Fedco on the left, uses a single number for hardiness zones to represent the coldest zone a plant can tolerate. Others, like Stark Nursery on the right, gives you the plant's range. They even have a search in case you don't know your zone. Parts of your zone's climate is knowing your frost dates. Frost dates refer to the average dates of the last frost in the spring and the first frost in autumn. So, you're looking at kind of the dates in between those as being your best growing, times. These dates are critical because frost can damage or kill plants that are sensitive to freezing temperatures. Knowing the frost dates in your area helps you determine the safest times to plant and harvest. You will often hear or read something like, sow seeds after last frost. Maps like this help you plan for that. This map is pretty broad, but you can look up your county online to tell the average frost dates for your specific region. Also, know there are differences within zones. For example, I farmed in Kentucky Zone 6 for many years. My average rainfall was 46 inches. However, Ogden, Utah, the same planting zone, gets 24 annual inches of rain. I might worry about soil drainage, where my friend in Utah worries about drought tolerance. Those things matter in gardening and are all things that you need to consider. Think of your garden as a whole pie and the ingredients as its parts. You need to consider all the things that go into it to have a great pie or a great harvest. I guess I'm thinking about fruit trees for planting zones, and that made me think of pie. Feel free to put your comments and questions below. Thanks for watching, and have a fabulous day.